sports. Coming up, we'll see the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, and the Cincinnati Bengals as they take on Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, as the 2019 regular season starts speeding toward a conclusion, not too many games remain to be played here in Oakland, California. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The folks around the stadium clad in silver and black going to make every last game played in Oakland count. They're ready to go as their Raiders get set to match up with Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9 games.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Derek Carr is set and ready to roll as he leads the Raiders out onto the field. Carr in his 6th season, 28 years of age, former second-round pick back in 2014, and a lot of people feel this is a critical season for Derek Carr as a Raider. Remember, there were whispers that the Raiders might be in the market for a QB in the draft, even contemplated maybe making a run at Kyler Murray, but in the end, they stood pat with Derek Carr, hoping that he's the long-term answer.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Well, the second down throw on target, and they'll wind up getting this to the 37, gain of 9. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
You see me? You see me?
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This is taken at about the 14. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. So here are the Bengals under first-year head coach Zach Taylor. They'll be brought out by their quarterback, who is now in season number 9 out of TCU, Andy Dalton.
Okay, I'm not taking a turn to negative town, even though it's going to sound like it. The 2 interceptions he threw last week, those obviously have to be eliminated, and that was the focus of practice this week. But let's face it, he did throw 3 touchdown passes.
And they got the win.
And they got the win, so I think it was a good week for him to work on things. Had some positives, the win being first and foremost. Now he's just got to eliminate those interceptions.
12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between and created a foul.
Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 2nd and 11 now. Dalton, and the catch good. It's Eifert. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. A quick throw now complete to Ross. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. 3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty. And it's 4th down.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
With it is Brown.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November, but they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
50 seconds. Mike, 50 seconds.
On 2nd and very short, Carr, the open man here, Renfro. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. And, you know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Oh, gosh. That's some bullshit.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at the 20. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2. And it brings up 2nd down. And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
Well, the Bengals struggled in 2018. Running back Joe Mixon certainly did not. Over 1,100 yards running the ball, caught 43 passes. Expect both of those numbers to continue to climb in his years in the NFL.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. And look at the defensive starters now for the Raiders. They were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. Dalton here from the gun. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see. Your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Here's a throw out wide complete to his running back right side. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second. Second quarter from Oakland, the homestanding Raiders with the football here. We're scoreless after 1. Now Carr on the bootleg. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. A big play that time for the Raiders. 43 yards. Not really any offense for them to speak of here in this first half. Maybe that's what they needed, that big play.
Yeah, it seems that maybe everything changes right there. They've been a little slow out of the gate. We've seen that. But that one big play, that could spark a big burst right here.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
No.
This ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off
God,
by Darqueze Dennard. It's salivating, and off he goes. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
No.
Yes, the old tip drill works to
Gosh,
perfection
dude,
there.
You're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while. To have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski was an interception.
Different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a
too many syllables. Yeah.
You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
Oski. A reminder that coming up later tonight, a good one on Sunday Night Football. We'll see what could have been a playoff matchup a season ago. The Bears and the Rams from L.A. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football from down in Mexico.
God.
Mexico City, to be precise. The Chiefs and the Chargers going at it. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Brissett sets to throw it. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. It's the correct call.
Brissett to throw on first. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Well, now this pass brought in by Brown. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Oh,
and he fires one that's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when you intercept the pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week, you got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Why did I switch?
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengals TD. John Ross, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Bengals strike quickly here for 6 points. As a former DB, you might not like to see them, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you don't press. It's a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
A run there on first down gets 3 up to the 28. Jesse Bates, who led the Bengals in tackles as a rookie, there to make the stop.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now Brissett. Going right side here, and that's complete. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. The Raiders on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Throwing.
Oh my God, dude.
Going to be incomplete.
What the fuck?
Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 15. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. And the good news, his team's winning. And the bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the second quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
He probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. 23 yards, the final tally. And he went in and out there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well run route.
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Oh, he took that thing one-handed. What a grab. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They're becoming a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like they're taking credit away from the guys. I don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing. I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
They haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they?
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
On first, here's Washington. Brought down by the quarterback, William Jackson.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. First down, Brissett. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Credit the sack to the safety, Jesse Bates.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know, is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, of that marker. Last season for Carlson, bit of a strange rookie year. Won the Vikings job, then was let go week 2 after going 0 for 3, but he picked things back up.
Remember, he was drafted to cure their kicking woes, and he ends up going 0 for 3 against Green Bay, including the potential game winner. Gets cut, picked up by the Raiders, 16 for 17 the rest of the season. I'd say at the end of the year, a pretty good success story.
Getting set to go again, Andy Dalton marches back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of it. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now,
that was hit, and Dalton lost the football. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. So an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3.
I don't even see the yards. What the fuck do we have? Oh my gosh. But they're smoking us. Holy shit.
The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 6. Then he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here are the Bengals set to take over. They got the victory last week. That was against the Baltimore Ravens, and they have the lead here as well. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And here's a throw taken in by Boyd. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Tyre Whitehead, top 10 in tackles last year, up to make the play. From the 36, Dalton throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Landed Carr on the coverage there.
This defense can use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
Well, they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. Now Dalton, and that will be incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
And darn right, they did something to disrupt that timing.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board. Get here at half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get it all done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The linebacker, Preston Brown, there to knock that one away. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Brissett, and that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The linebacker, Preston Brown, there to knock that one away.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as they'll go for it on 4th down. Here's Brissett. And this is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. The Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. Well, they clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? You want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that. The defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 20-yard line. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. He finds his running back, Mixon, and he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll give it to Mixon. And he'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Passing, it's Dalton. Looking for Boyd, and he's got him. Touchdown, Bengals. Tyler Boyd, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down, it caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. The throw complete here to Williams. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Like Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams came to the Raiders in March. Came up the coast from L.A., where he caught 41 balls last year with the Chargers. His best year was 2016 when the Chargers were still in San Diego. Over that, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Antonio Brown hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders make some inroads here on that deficit. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it makes the score 21-10. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it ends with an Oakland touchdown. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This is taken at his 4. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll stay on the ground, mix it again. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave them with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Dalton on the draw to Mixon. And they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the first. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. So both teams trade touchdowns in the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here's Ryan Quigley now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Oh, good move. Fights loose. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Darquez Denard there defensively. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. To throw is Brissett. This will be caught by Brown. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position.
He rifles one that's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. They run on 1st down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. From just shy of midfield, Dalton. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And he's got this down to the 35. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal 1st down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now a 1st carry for Giovanni Bernard. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there, and now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
That's going to be caught by Ross for a Bengal touchdown. Andy Dalton with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This one taken just inside the 10. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the number.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run, and just lost track, and it cost him.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target, and it's 2nd down. Another wayward pass. Yeah, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Darquez Denard there defensively. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
They've done a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I looked down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Right back to Washington. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Reset now. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. He's going to let it fly, and this is caught. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Antonio Brown with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. And the Raiders get a score closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now, it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game, they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. 2 scores down, 2 timeouts at their disposal. This is a critical onside kick. And this this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. On first down, Mixon. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11. Once again, they run with Mixon. And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Dalton down to a knee, and that'll be all she wrote.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for the Bengals, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoff race as they're back to 500 at 5-5. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York Jets. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.